Alrighty, everybody. Let's take a look and see what kind of games we can get in today. It's the end of the day. What time is it? Getting close to 6 something? 6:30 almost? Alright, with the black pieces. Let's see what we've got today. Do we go for Alekhine or do we just go for a standard? Let's keep trying Alekhine. You know what the heck? We've been playing it quite a bit lately, just trying to get some good games in. So we're going to move into the Scandinavian. We know about that one. My opponent can push down, and we just rotate around. I'm expecting a push here, and then we just undermine it here. So this is something that we had prepared. We knew this was a variation that we wanted to play, and so now we've got it. And my opponent could defend with something like this or something like this. And then from there, honestly, I don't remember. Oh. So that's the way you want to play it, eh? So now I got to be careful because are there any traps that I might fall into? Well, there is one right here. So I got to be careful there. I can't move my queen. What do I want to do? Let's just push here. My opponent's now got to move this. I have opened a defense on my pawn. This seems like a pretty good move, doesn't it? Pretty good. Eventually we'll capture here, but my opponent's probably going to swing down and pick up here. I would like to get my other knight rotated in. Yeah. Now we've got two attackers. My opponent's going to throw a defender up, so we'll just make a trade real quick. All right. So my opponent is still up the AKA gambited pawn, but I can pick it up here. The question is, would that work? And then maybe I can rotate around. Yeah, let's do that. We can swing back around onto G6. There's the possibility of an early queen trade. So if my opponent captures here, no, he's got it covered. He's got it covered, so he does have it covered this way. Now the question is... nope, cancel. My opponent has two attackers here, so let's go ahead and defend. Is that right? Yeah, it also stops early queen trades. All right, let's just go defend this way. So now we got two defenders. Really would like to rotate this knight around so it's not stuck, hung out to dry by itself. I do have two pieces now that are undefended, so I gotta be careful. But thankfully, there's no pawn to push to fork them, so I don't have to worry about that too much. All right, how do we want to do this? Do we force another trade? I'm debating here which way I want to capture. Let's go this way. It'll encourage my opponent to try. If they come this way, I've got the rook ready to go. Maybe I could swing my knight back around this way, should I so desire. Now we're putting the question to my opponent, does he want to keep his bishop pair or not? That is the question. So this is undefended, so what do? We said we were going to rotate it around this way, so let's go ahead and do that. Now everything that we have is defended. My opponent has an undefended piece. This comes with check. Oh, I still have an undefended piece too. So we're moving into fastly, words. I can't use words, Lieutenant Dan. We're quickly moving into an end game here. And it looks like I'm going to have 4 pawns on this side. He comes here with check. I do have to capture. That's fine. That's fine. Just defend at my bishop. This pawn is undefended. Maybe I push it, but that seems ugly, doesn't it? Like I said, we're coming to an end game pretty quickly, and I would like to possibly, now that we're moving to an end game, just knights. Maybe I leave my my king in the center, and I just keep going. I keep using my pawns. That might work, actually. So maybe put my knight here, and then defend it this way. Now I got to keep an eye on this square, which makes me want to castle so that I can have 2 rooks on the outside. Here, then here, then here. It's too late. It takes way too long. Here, then here would be nice. But I don't have it. All right, let's castle. We have to change our tactic. All right, now I hate knight endgames, honestly. All right, so where is he gonna go? He's gonna pick up this. Where else could he go? He just came from there. He could go here, right? So realistically, we want to go here. No, we can't go there though. We'll just drive it. We'll push our rook up here in a second when he drops. Yep. Now we can put our second rook underneath. And almost certainly I'm going to put my rook here to challenge this pawn. We're dead even in material. We're sticking on knights. At the end of the day, you cannot checkmate with just a knight and a king. That's something to always keep in mind, is that you can't checkmate with just a knight and a king. So, no, I've got that covered. Never mind, I'm good there. So it is something to keep in mind that at the end of the day, if you trade down enough material, the only thing that you'll have left is a stalemate or a draw. If captures, I just capture back. It's an isolated pawn. It's going to be a challenge to keep up with anyway. My opponent has 2 pawns on the queen side, so that's going to be something very important for him. So now I can pick up this pawn. The question is, where is my opponent's knight looking to go? Go ahead and pre-move that. Just get a couple seconds back on our clock, just in case my opponent captures. Now I think, yeah, now my opponent is Where do we want to go? I kind of want to just go down the file. I'm guessing my opponent's going to swing his rook over this way. No. Just defend our pawn. So this is becoming a very drawn-out endgame. I don't know if there's a checkmate I can have by getting my knight here. That's check, and then my opponent would have to run away. So first we're going to go... actually, let's do this first. Make it a pawn trade. And now... does this do anything, or does this do something? One of these two comes with check, and the question is, what can I do with it after the fact? And then, all right, from here, let's see what, from here, can I come back this way? I could. Does that help? I don't know. Let's go this way. My opponent's got spies on both of those, so I think the next move would be to just pressure this pawn. Which is, I should have looked for a discovery, actually. Should have looked for a discovery, oh well. Everything's defended. Oh, fuck, the backwards pawn. Ah, that was a mistake. That was a mistake. That was a mistake, because that comes with check. Damn it, that was a mistake. Yeah, good call by my opponent there. Oh, very clever. Very fucking clever. Okay, let's just go here. Defend up our pawn. Now we've got to put this, we've got to do work here. Do we have any cool discoveries? No, we don't. Yeah, because even that, the opponent can just escape this way. Realistically, what I'd like to do is I'd like to reevaluate how to get my... Yeah, that's what I want to do. So putting my knight here on c3 means that it defends the queening square. See if we can force this trade. I have to really be careful here because I don't know. I don't know what could happen. No, I don't want to do that. This pawn is defended by my knight. Notice my king is a little trapped in here, only has these squares available to him, so I'm just going to get myself into a position where I can have some escape squares. Now, fuck, I just gave up the whole rook, though. That was stupid, Joe. That was really stupid, Joe. That was really stupid right there at the end to throw the game like that. F me, man. F me so hard. I cannot save. My opponent can get here, and I can't save this pawn. Dang it. Right there at the end, I dropped the whole rook. Ah, I'm so stupid. I was so worried about getting my king hidden. I had everything lined up, and I didn't have to do anything. Now I'm going to drop a knight. This gives me check. I can rotate around this way. Damn. He can go here, and then this is undefended. Notice I can't catch this pawn anymore. But my opponent is giving me an opportunity. Let me check this right here. How do I get this guy here? No. It's got to go here, and then I can't get there in time. F me. F me, y'all. F me, F me, F me. The game's over. I can't do it. Can't do it. He's going to capture here, and then I've got nothing. Damn it! Can't believe I blew that. It's game over. He just goes checkmate. No, he missed it. Okay. Well, now he's got checkmate. Dadgummit. I can't believe that we missed that one, guys. I cannot believe we dropped a whole rook right there at the end. We had this whole game played out really well. Let's just go to the end where we dropped the rook, and let's see what the evaluation says, because I will bet it's a lot closer than we want to admit. All right, so right here, yeah, look at that. Evaluation's basically a draw. And my opponent plays, gives himself a little bit of advantage. I make a great move, I thought, here. And I got my opponent to a place where I wanted him to be. Now, all I had to do was keep my opponent's king. No, because he can still retreat here. Yeah, so I guess that really doesn't help much. Because then he can go and I still can't escape. Yeah, there's nothing I can do. Look at that. Because I can't even go down because of the knight covers it. All right. Yeah, so I knew there was a danger here. I just couldn't quite figure out how to make it work for me. I thought this was a good move, getting my opponent's king out of the way, but it's an undefended piece. And, oops, undo that. And, yeah, moving my king is great. It's helpful, but it drops the whole rook. And this close to the end of the game, that completely swung it. So, nothing I can do here, friends. Nothing I can do. Let's see, did I ever get back into the game at all? Was there a moment when I... Yeah, no, this was a mistake. Because going after the pawn, the bottom of the pawn chain, allows this pawn to push, and my opponent doesn't have to do anything. There's literally nothing I can do to catch this. Queen, and now I can't even approach. So, once you get behind the pawn, there's no catching it. So that was all a mistake. All right, let's take a look back at the beginning. Let's talk about our friend Alekhine. So, e4, knight f6. My opponent went knight c3, which allows me to go into the Scandinavian, which we know how that one looks. And then my opponent decided to push past, which we've seen how that one looks too. Notice the Alekhine does give black a little bit of the initiative back. Notice the evaluation has kind of swung from slightly positive. Like you start off the game, white has a slightly positive evaluation, right? Now, of course, once you move, it does unbalance things a little bit, but white has a slight advantage. And then black is seeking to remove that advantage. So, and then, yep, we undermine the structure. This all felt really good. I'm not certain what to do here. I wonder why, because doesn't it allow... Yeah, it allows white to get back, so why would capturing here be good? Interesting. I've never played that before, so interesting. Okay. Well, I decided to immediately challenge the center. Got my opponent's knight out of the way. Yeah, the engine wanted me to go ahead and capture first. But the move I made was okay. Puts a second attacker on this pawn. Now, again, if my opponent had captured, then I can capture back with the knight, which is fine. If my opponent had pushed past, I don't know what I would have done. Probably captured. Yeah, let's leave. If my opponent pushes past, yeah, I think just capture. The rest of my stuff is all defended. So, oh, and this even is actually allowable. Interesting. Okay. Interesting turn of events there. Yeah, at this point in time, the engine said capturing was a good move, so I'm glad I did that. So I was debating on what to do with my dark square bishop. In the back of my mind, my first plan was fianchetto, but then once I started talking about rotating my knight around, then the question in the brain is, what do we do with the dark square knight? Do you bring it all the way out and do you pin? Do you bring it all the way out and you challenge? Or do you just park it on the E7 square and call it a day? It looks like the engine says E7, or maybe... Oh, no, E7 is the way to go. It just seems like I quickly be... Excuse me. Sorry, guys. A little yawn for you. I just wanted to make sure I had extra defenders here. Now, I debated on making this trade, but that then allows my opponent to have two attackers on my my bishop. Granted, yes, I have two defenders, but it just felt awkward. So I would try to get another attacker. What does the engine say the best way to take back is? Okay, the bishop. Take back with the knight. Why didn't I think about taking back with the knight? That would have made way more sense than because this is still defended, and one of my knights is undefended, so that would have brought it back in line with getting defended. So I don't know why I didn't consider that at the time. A very even game, right up until the very end when we dropped a whole rook. So I was going for this early h5 push. So my opponent is castled. My king is in the center of the board. One of my rooks is already on an open file. My other thought was, you know, if I could throw some material down the board, because this move is coming, right? I can just push e5, and then I can get my knight up here. So my opponent is probably going to be looking at pushing their g pawn. So my h pawn is going to come here and basically going to challenge the center, and I can start breaking down this structure in front of my opponent's king. So that was my thought process. Maybe even opening the h file in the process, right? So let's say, I'm just going to throw some dummy moves real quick. So let's say I push a pawn, my opponent, another dummy move. I get my knight involved. So now there is some tension. Obviously, my opponent is not going to want my pawn to get all the way. So if my opponent were to push a pawn, you know, and stop, well, that's okay. I can push this pawn. And now I've got a semi-open file right in front of my opponent's king. Granted, my king is wide open in the middle of the board, but you know, there's not a lot of material left. It's just a knight, right? That's all my opponent has in this case. That would cause me stress. So oh, that's pinned. Ha! Can't even capture there because that's pinned. I don't know. I'm just throwing pieces. I'm not even looking at smart moves. I'm just thinking. But that was an idea. So this early H pawn, not early, but this H pawn was basically to look at opening up this H file. My opponent decided to go for the trade, which is fine. But that's when I realized, oh, I've opened up my A file, which means my opponent's going to trade a pair of rooks pretty damn quick. And we saw the tension that happened around that pawn. So I had to castle at this point in time to get my other rook involved. Yeah, that just seems dangerous, doesn't it? Because now my opponent's attacking here, so... Yeah, either way, I feel like I would need to castle. Like I said, I did have a thought about not castling and just kind of tucking my king on the F file and just letting it sit there, but getting castled meant I could get my rooks in. Oof, so this does swing into white's favor still. Wow, that's a huge swing though. Why? Because the knight is trapped. Oh, damn, y'all. I did not even see that. The knight is trapped. Oh, wow. Huh. Oh, that's fun. I missed that. Cannot believe I didn't grab the knight. Cannot believe I didn't grab the knight. My goodness, I cannot believe I didn't grab that knight. Whew. I'm so blind sometimes, y'all. Man, oh man, oh man. Yeah, I really just wanted to get a push here. So black has a huge advantage now. And how does black capitalize on it? Okay, so I was wrong. The engine says I should have gone to here. Why is there such a... Why can't the king... Oh, right, the king can't come up this way, right. Okay, right, okay. Right, because when I move my knight here, I block off my own rook, allowing the king to get in. Okay, so here, the king has to go that way. And then push pawn to victory? No. Why not? Because it drives the knight away. And then it becomes a free pickings. Okay, all right. But here, and then opponent has to move, then start pushing the pawn. Then the opponent gets back into the game, and then what? Wants me to defend it this way? Why would my opponent capture? Why not? Because now I've got the queening square covered. Oh, because that's checkmate. Here's another checkmating pattern we have to learn, friends. We have to learn this checkmate pattern. We have to learn this checkmate pattern. Wow. Alrighty then. I guess that's the end of that game. Yeah, so I had an advantage and I trashed it, and most likely the advantage... Let's scroll back down where we were messing around here. right around here somewhere. Oh, wait. Blah, 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 blah. So white has a slight advantage, and then black misses catching the knight. Black doubles up. The knight gets moved to safety. We get our knight into the game. And we just can't capitalize on it, can we? Why can't... Oh, because it's double check. It's a double check. The king has to move. So I missed a huge opportunity here. No, not that. Oh, I see. Then we can get us a fork here. Man, I just don't know, guys. I don't know how I missed all this stuff. I mean, well, obviously I missed all that, but somehow I went from a 5-point advantage to a nothing advantage. Yeah, this was a big mistake of mine right here. I had a check I could have thrown in, and I gave up the base of the pawn chain, which was a huge mistake. And then from there, it just became easy pickings. Opened up a file. Yeah, that was just a struggle nugget. We're back to even, but I just couldn't convert, and my opponent did. So that's how it goes sometimes. All righty, friends. Well, that's that game. Our friend Alekhine had made an interesting early to mid game and made it a lot of fun. And then I still can't convert my late games. So one of these days, we'll do some more practicing on late games. All right, everybody. Have a good one. Bye.